The Alldus podcast is brought to you by Alldus International, supplying your expert AI and digital transformation staffing needs across the US and Europe. Today, you are listening to our AI in Action series, where leading minds in AI from across the world share their story, success, and advice. AI in Action cuts through the hype and explores the true impact of artificial intelligence in our world today.
You're listening to AI in Action. I'm your host, JP Valentine. Our guest today is Ivan Galea. Ivan is the head of data science at Atlassian. Ivan, welcome to the show.
Hi, JP. Glad to be here.
Yeah, we're delighted to have you. So, Ivan, let's start with yourself, as we do with all of our guests. Could you please give us an overview of your journey in technology, from where you got started, some of the roles you've held along the way, and take us up to today as the VP and head of all things data at Atlassian?
Sure, happy to. So I started in going back to like my grad school days. I moved into a physics and engineering program with the intention of becoming a professor. And then somewhere in the middle, I decided that I'm more excited with the interaction of business and technology, not just academic research. After my PhD, I spent around 4 years at a consulting company called BCG in New York. Then I moved to Wall Street, did a number of jobs from writing electronic trading software to eventually running analytics for global equities. Moved over to PayPal, had a number of roles on the data science side and on the product management side for data products. Moved to a startup called Box, which was on the B2B side. And then a little bit shy of 5 years ago, moved over to Atlassian.
Thank you so much for that. There's obviously a lot we could talk about within your own career and the journey, but let's focus on the here and now. You've got a very senior role at Atlassian, who are a well-known organization within the world of data and AI. But for anyone listening who's not familiar with Atlassian, tell us who you are, what you do, and what the mission of the organization is.
Our mission is to unleash the potential of every team. And everything that we do and every product that we have, it's aligned with that mission. Unleashing the potential of development team and technical teams. That's how we started with products like Jira Software and Confluence and Jira Service Management, to over the last few years also focusing for any knowledge worker within an organization. In terms of my team, I'm part of the data science organization. Data science is responsible of finding insights about how users use our products and how we can add more value back to users. So that includes understanding of user journeys that users have through our products. When they're coming to our products, they have a specific task in mind, and any improvement in reduction in friction on our side for them to finish their job quicker, it's always a plus. So that's a big majority of what my team works on. Another part of my team works on is on our go-to-market or customer acquisition, from search marketing, running campaigns, evaluating campaigns, and basically improving the overall operations of the company through the insights and data.
So obviously then your role as the head of data science really touches on the majority of what Atlassian is working on. Could you go into the main responsibilities of your role in a bit more detail and help us visualize the team that you're responsible for, from the positions that exist, the number of people, and what it's like day to day for your group?
Sure, happy to. Let me start with the craft of data science and the roles of data scientists. So if we look at the organization broadly, you have G&A, you have go-to-market, and R&D. G&A stands for general and administrative. G&A typically would include anything from like finance and people and legal and so on. Go-to-market is responsible for acquiring customers and then expanding customers. And then R&D is responsible from building products that our customers care about and that our users want to use because it solves their problems. I have teams in all three organizations. I'll give a couple examples, one on the go-to-market side, the other one on the R&D side. Within the go-to-market, one part of what we do is over time increasing more scale in the way that we acquire customers and in the way that we expand on customers. On the customer acquisition side, we rely heavily on digital marketing. And so that involves a lot of data to improve the targeting and improve the effectiveness of digital advertisements within search engine marketing that we use. On the expansion side, any understanding in terms of which customers might benefit from the next product or from adding a different type of product, we have different product tiers, would be really helpful so that when we're passing on an advertisement or a message to customer, that message is relevant to them. It's not just a random advertisement or message that you get. That's on the go-to-market side of the house. On the R&D side of the house, where the organization is responsible to build products and then to scale those products. And the way that we do it is through, we have a number of products that are fairly mature: Jira Software, Confluence, Jira Service Management, etc. And then we also do a lot of investment on startups within the organization, these smaller products that we've launched or that are pre-launch, and where we're doing a lot of research to understand product fit and understand also impact and adoption from our customer base. And a lot of this work involves experimentation, and it involves a lot of understanding of how users interact with our products and how we can improve that interaction, how we can get a user to get what they want done with the least amount of friction.
Your user group and customer base is so broad and varied that it's hard to focus on any one industry, particular company type. But I would love to ask you if there's any recent projects or customer experiences that you're particularly proud of or you found exciting that would demonstrate the impact that Atlassian's technology can have for a customer.
Sure. We do a number of qualitative feedback in addition to the quantitative work within my team. And that's typically a validation of what we do. I'll give you one example. Customers want more information about how we can help their teams be more productive. So it's not just a question of us providing them with features and functionalities that to get a user, a knowledge worker to get a job done. But increasingly, the customers are asking us to help us become more productive in addition to solve a particular problem or making a task. And getting that insight to help them be more productive is something that is top of mind for our team, or my team. And we get feedback directly from customers about the value, the incremental value that this provides.
You are listening to the Alldus podcast. When you're looking to scale your team, or if you are interested in showcasing your company in a future episode, reach out today. Or if you're in the market for a new role, visit our website to view open positions, www.alldus.com.
So, Ivan, you've been with Atlassian for coming up on 5 years now, and obviously the adoption of Atlassian's technology and products has grown significantly over that time. When you start to look ahead at the next chapter for Atlassian, whether it be the project roadmap or new products, which you may or may not be able to disclose too much with us right now, I understand, but when you look at the next 1 to 2 years, what are you excited about for the future of Atlassian and your team as the data science group?
A few weeks ago, I took some time off and I spent a little bit of time digging a bit into AI in particular. And I really believe that we're at an inflection point within technology, not necessarily dissimilar to, let's say, 10 years ago or 15 years ago with the introduction of mobile. We're getting to a point where AI models are reaching a certain scale and a certain level of generalization that I think will result in some major disruptions in how we do technologies and how a regular knowledge worker works. And that's really exciting. I would imagine that over the coming years, will be able to both provide more insights, again, into how, not just how a person can do a job, but how can they do that job more productively. A lot of the repetitive aspect of the work would be done increasingly with machines. And that's incredibly exciting, because that means that the average knowledge worker would have time to be more creative in their work. And this evolution of technology is driven by data and by various aspects of data science, specifically with AI, but also a lot of understanding and analytics of user journeys and key tasks for a particular workflow to get a job done. And I find it incredibly exciting to be at this point where there are so possibilities ahead of us that I feel certain that we'll be working on over the coming years.
Final question for me then, Ivan. We always like to bring this back to something that can directly benefit our audience, and many of whom data professionals always looking for the next chapter of their career journey. Atlassian is renowned for having a great culture and bringing in a lot of talented people. So as the head of the data science group, when you're speaking to candidates about the mission, the environment, the day to day, what is it that you tell them about Atlassian that gets them excited to join you guys over some of the other great companies hiring?
As a company, we're always focused on the long term. I've worked in companies in the past or consulted with companies where there was a lot of emphasis on short-term revenue, like making sure that you're hitting a particular goal for short-term gains for the next quarter. In my life and my experience on the data side, data, it's a long-term game, and it requires a lot of investment, and it creates a massive amount of lift and leverage. But that's leverage and that lift and that ROI is based on this long-term strategy and investment and thinking about the benefits. And Atlassian is that kind of a company. Like in my now close to 5 years here, we're constantly taking the long-term aspect in our investment. And that's exciting. And that means that we're okay to invest in an area that we might not see the benefit in the short or medium term, because we believe that this is the right thing to do, that this would add value to our users and our customers. In terms of the audience specifically for this podcast, like technical data professionals, we are constantly looking for talent. Like from a macro picture right now, again, this is January 2023, the markets go up and down, and we're on the downside of that cycle, but that's only temporary. When you take the long-term view, we're always looking for the right level of talent, and it's a constant game of how we can improve every aspect of our business and our products in order to add value to our users and customers.
Ivan, thank you so much for coming on today and talking to us. Really appreciate you sharing your own backstory, your journey to head of data science for Atlassian, and a great look behind the scenes of an amazing company doing incredible work in this space. And great to hear about the long-term view strategically, because that gives confidence in you guys as a business. You can ride the short-term waves and still be there on the other side of things. So we wish you, the team, and everyone at Atlassian, the best of luck in the months and years to come. And we look forward to having you back on the show in the near future.
Thanks, JP. I enjoyed the conversation.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Alldus podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review. We are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and any Android podcast of choice. You can also head over to our website, www.alldus.com, to listen to more podcasts, view our open roles, and stay up to date with industry news. Thanks for listening, and stay tuned for more great episodes coming very soon.